Deep within the heart of the Vatican, beyond the fortified walls and beneath the watchful gaze of the Holy Office, lie treasures. Some believe these treasures could shatter our understanding of human history. These are not mere repositories of documents. They are a true treasury of knowledge, meticulously gathered and guarded for centuries. This isn't about political games, papal decrees, or even religious dogmas. It's about a far bolder hypothesis, one capable of shaking the foundations of belief, that the greatest religious figures, from the prophets of antiquity to the founders of world religions, were not simply spiritual leaders, but a link between humanity and extraterrestrial civilizations. This daring theory, naturally, faces fierce opposition from traditional scholars and official church circles. But proponents of this view are convinced that the secrets held within the Vatican's archives and other ancient religious centers, such as the libraries of Alexandria or the monasteries of Tibet, hold evidence that could confirm this shocking truth. This isn't about fiction or fantasy. It's about real historical data, artifacts, ancient texts, and perhaps even technologies that point to the existence of extraterrestrial intelligence that profoundly influence the development of human civilization. The very idea of contact with extraterrestrial civilizations is hardly new. In ancient myths and legends, hints of divine beings descending from the heavens to teach humans crafts, sciences, and the arts can be found. Consider, for example, the Sumerian tales of the Anunnaki, gods who came from the sky, or the Greek myths about heroes who received knowledge from gods and demigods. Can these myths be seen merely as products of imagination, or are they a distorted reflection of actual events, testaments to encounters with extraterrestrial civilizations? Proponents of this theory believe that ancient texts, especially those meticulously guarded in secret archives, conceal encrypted messages revealing the true nature of these contacts. It's not just religious scriptures like the Bible, the Quran, or the Vedas, but also older and less well-known texts that have been removed from public access and carefully classified. They believe these texts tell how extraterrestrial civilizations gave humanity a starter kit of knowledge, including the fundamentals of mathematics, astronomy, medicine, and architecture. This starter kit allowed humanity to make a rapid leap in development, but over time it was distorted, turned into dogma, and used to control the masses. One of the key arguments in favor of this theory is the analysis of ancient artifacts. For example, many researchers point to the striking similarities between cultures separated by millennia and thousands of kilometers. The pyramids of Egypt, the temples of the Maya, the megalithic structures of Stonehenge, all demonstrate amazing engineering precision and knowledge that, according to some, could not have been achieved without the aid of more advanced technology. Stones, weighing dozens of tons, were perfectly fitted together, as if created not by human hands, but by some unknown force. In this context, the role of the Vatican is particularly interesting. For centuries, the Holy See had gathered and guarded information, often from a multitude of sources, including secret societies, ancient libraries, and archives. The Vatican, resembling a colossal library, held within its walls knowledge accumulated over thousands of years. Who knew what secrets lurked behind those high walls? What mysteries awaited their moment to be revealed? The Vatican was not merely a religious center. It was also one of the largest research institutions on Earth. Its archives and libraries were a true treasure trove of knowledge, yet access was strictly controlled. The history of the discovery and study of these archives was shrouded in secrecy. Officially, the Vatican denied the existence of secret materials that contradicted religious dogma. However, it was known that researchers granted limited access to certain archives had uncovered astonishing facts. One of the most famous examples was the story of the decipherment of the Voynich manuscript, a mysterious book written in an unknown language using an unknown writing system. This manuscript, dating back to the 15th century, contained illustrations of plants, stars, and other objects that remained unidentified to this day. Some scholars believe the Voynich manuscript was an encoded message, containing information about extraterrestrial civilizations. Another example is the famed Book of Enoch, an ancient apocryphal text included in the Ethiopian Bible but excluded from the canonical translation. This book details interactions with angels, the fall of angels who cohabited with earthly women, and the conveyance of forbidden knowledge to humanity. Some scholars believe the Book of Enoch could serve as a key to understanding the true nature of extraterrestrial contacts, lifting the veil of secrecy surrounding these events. Proponents of the extraterrestrial influence theory point to a series of historical events that, in their opinion, suggest hidden activity from other civilizations. For instance, the mysterious disappearance of an entire fleet of ships in the infamous Bermuda Triangle, the enigmatic occurrences in Area 51, and strange lights that flashed in the heavens, captured in ancient drawings and the legends of various peoples. All of this, they argue, is just the tip of the iceberg, concealing an incredible truth about contact with extraterrestrial civilizations. Analysis of the existing facts and theories related to this subject allows for several interesting conclusions. First and foremost, it must be acknowledged that many of these hypotheses remain debatable and lack sufficient scientific basis, relying instead on conjecture. However, this does not mean they do not deserve attention. On the contrary, studying these theories can help us better understand the nature of human knowledge and identify possible gaps in our understanding of history and culture. One of the key arguments for this theory proposes a daring idea: that the greatest religious figures were not merely spiritual leaders, but rather messengers from extraterrestrial civilizations. Jesus Christ, Buddha, and Muhammad, all, according to proponents of this theory, received knowledge and inspiration from extraterrestrial beings who aided them in spreading their teachings among humanity. Importantly, it is crucial to emphasize that this perspective does not seek to discredit religious beliefs. On the contrary, its adherents insist that their aim is to unveil the genuine essence of religious teachings, freeing them from the dogmas and distortions that have arisen from human ignorance and the thirst for power. They believe that by grasping the true origin of religious knowledge, we can gain a deeper understanding of ourselves, our place in the vast universe, and our relationships with other civilizations. Ultimately, this could lead to the formation of a more harmonious and just society, founded on knowledge and mutual respect. However, it is also necessary to acknowledge that this theory still contains numerous open questions and controversial points, requiring further investigation. For instance, how can the existence of extraterrestrial civilizations be proven? How can the encrypted messages hidden in secret archives be deciphered? What evidence do we have that specific religious figures truly contacted extraterrestrial beings? Answering these complex questions will demand further research, fresh discoveries, and perhaps even a shift in the established paradigms of science and philosophy. It's crucial to remember that we are only at the very beginning of our journey towards understanding these mysteries. We stand at the threshold, opening ourselves to a world of riddles and possibilities. Nowadays, access to the secret Vatican archives and other religious centers remains restricted. The majority of the materials housed within these sanctuaries of knowledge are still hidden from the wider public. Even those who manage to gain permission to work with these ancient repositories encounter many obstacles. Firstly, the archives themselves are vast seas of information, containing millions of documents written in various languages, from ancient Greek to Latin, and in a multitude of styles. Deciphering and analyzing these priceless manuscripts is a colossal undertaking, requiring encyclopedic knowledge in linguistics, history, archaeology, paleography, and many other disciplines. Sometimes, researchers are forced to work with documents that are over 1,000 years old. Secondly, many of the documents are meticulously encrypted or abound in symbolism, which modern people find very difficult to understand. Deciphering these mysterious symbols demands a deep dive into the world of ancient cultures, mythology, esotericism, and at times, even occult sciences. Thirdly, researchers daring to delve into the secrets of hidden archives often face resistance from official bodies. They must navigate insurmountable bureaucratic hurdles, confront silencing, and even direct threats. Yet despite all the difficulties, the work of investigating these secret archives continues relentlessly. With each passing year, new discoveries emerge, expanding our knowledge of history and culture. Perhaps in the future, we'll be able to piece together a more complete picture of the role of extraterrestrial civilizations in the development of humanity. In conclusion, it's important to emphasize that the subject of secret archives and extraterrestrial contact isn't just a topic for scientific research. It's also an inexhaustible source of inspiration for many. It forces us to consider our place in the vast universe, the nature of knowledge, and possible future scenarios. Despite all limitations and hardships, researching the secret archives of the Vatican and other religious centers remains a vital task. This will allow us to better understand human history, unravel the secrets of the past, And who knows, maybe prepare for future contacts with other civilizations. It remains only to hope that, in the future, access to these archives will be broadened, allowing scholars and researchers from all over the world to gain more information and contribute to unraveling these mysteries. Perhaps it is within these ancient manuscripts and artifacts that the answers to the most important questions troubling humanity lie. Questions about our origins, our place in the universe, and our future. And who knows? Perhaps someday we will learn that the greatest secrets of the past are merely a prelude to even more astounding discoveries that await us ahead.